Hi, I'm Audrey Fox from JumpCut Online. I'm here with Dan Stevens to talk about his new film, I'm Your Man. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I saw the movie, loved it. One thing that I've always really appreciated about your filmography is how varied it is. You never seem to kind of go for the same role twice. What in general do you look for in a project, and what drew you to I'm Your Man?
It can be led by any number of things, a filmmaker or the quality of the role and the writing. I think this one had so many things, both challenging and appealing about it, not least that it was in German, which is not something I've done a huge amount of. But the idea of working in a second language was really enticing. And then when I translated this screenplay, to discover that it was a really kind of fun, interesting, sci-fi rom-com that was both philosophical and thoughtful, but also very kind of light and witty and playful, was just a total delight. And I thought, Maria Schrader, I thought Unorthodox was exceptional and was, clearly an interesting director. And the fact that she'd written this with her partner, and there's such kind of wit between them when you meet them, that really comes through in their screenplay. And so, yeah, the physical challenge, the linguistic challenge, and then also just the themes of the movie, they all made me want to do this.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I think about romantic comedies as so interesting because in general, they tend to be marketed towards women, but they're often directed by men. So could you talk to me a little bit about the experience of working with Maria Schrader and kind of her approach to the genre?
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. And actually, as a sort of sidebar to that, it's one of the first sets I've worked on that was predominantly female behind the camera as well, and had a very interesting kind of different atmosphere to that. But yeah, I think thematically, Maria was very excited to be, to have her male as the sort of sexual object, as it were, in this story, and to kind of play on all those things that for so many decades, the balance had been off, and to explore this kind of story from the other angle, I suppose, and really, a huge part of the role, and also the idea of the film, is to deconstruct a rom-com and to deconstruct what it is that we're cultured to think of as a romantic lead. And Tom is has clearly been kind of uploaded or pre-programmed with a bunch of ideas of here's the like 20 cheesiest lines that might work, or here's a rumba, and just like all of these things that we sort of think of as quintessentially romantic, but that come out kind of all wrong and scrambled in his computation of what it is he's supposed to be at the beginning anyway.
As an actor, how did you approach the challenge of making Tom feel gradually kind of a little bit more human over the course of the film?
Yeah, it was really interesting and fun to chart with Maria, was that, just how much machine and how much human do we show at any given point. And certainly at the beginning of the movie, it was never really about, well, it was about making the audience aware of the machine, but actually looking at the human that he was trying to portray. So, these sort of slightly warped human mannerisms that he sort of feels like he has to deploy in any given moment, and kind of, taking something that we might expect and just kind of putting it through this strange mill and stripping away a few things, and suddenly it becomes quite odd. And so really just, looking at the human that we would expect him to be, and then kind of unpicking it from there. It was a really fun exercise.
Yeah, that definitely came through in the film. I think I'm at time. But thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
Great.
I love the film.
Thank you.